welcome to McLaren Field at Bramley for this afternoon's first round Challenge Cup tie, sponsored by the Silk Cut. And the ground was past fit at 10:30 this morning, but it certainly doesn't look in such a good condition out there, something we're not accustomed to, is it? Anyway, the Saints team this afternoon: number 1 Connolly, 2 Hunt, 3 Beavers, 4 Laughlin, 5 Quirk, 6 Holding, 7 Divine, 8 Evans, 9 Arkwright, 10 Farber, 11 Jones, 12 Haggerty, 13 Cooper, substitutes 14 Bailey and 15 Mann. Bramley side: number 1 Race, 2 Lewis, 3 Neil, 4 Barnett, 5 Sharp, 6 Lister, 7 Carroll, 8 Spedding, 9 Brentley, 10 Edmondson, 11 Hopkins, 12 Durham, 13 Fraser, 14 Kane and 15 Gascoigne. Today's match day referees Mr Tidball from Wakefield. Well, it's rather difficult conditions. We're up here in the stand, I should say, at the end of the stand, the wing side. We've got a couple of floodlight stanchions possibly obstructing your view from time to time. But I can assure you it's not as much hassle as we've just been given, obviously, from our own spectators. You can appreciate the point, but we've been told to put our video equipment up here, and we've just got to... Unfortunately, we've only had one complaint off of Mr Appleton that's been bellowing down our ear hole, but we've got to carry on, we've got to do this, and that's all there is to it, isn't it? Anyway, it's Mr Tidball, the centre field. It's Bramley to kick off. Difficult conditions. Saints clash should tell. Well, Laughlin into a big hole straight away, straight from the kick-off. But he's lost the ball in the tackle. It's touched the Bramley man. Bramley have come up with possession, but a brilliant break there. I think it was Sean Devine that sent Laughlin on his way. But a good break and early possession for the Saints there. But as I say, unfortunately, when Laughlin come into the tackle, it went from his hands. And Bramley came up with possession. Anyway, on the far side there, Saints penalised for moving up too quickly. Had to play the ball in an offside position. So the first penalty of the game going to Bramley. Steve Carroll, goal kicker and obviously positional kicker for Bramley. Finds touch midway between the Saints 25 and the halfway line. And obviously Bramley, we've not played Bramley for 12 years, so I might have a little bit of difficulty picking them out. Not household names, as is usually the norm back up in the First Division ranks. But plenty of Saints support. In fact, I would imagine the majority is Saints support, because Bramley's home average gate is roughly around the 500 mark. But Bramley lose the ball there, a scrum down to be formed on the Saints 25. First scrum of the game, Sean Devine. Just coming in now as the Packs get ready to form the scrum. Devine feeds, the ball comes out Saints side, but referee Tidball is not happy with it. Scrum to be formed again, but Saints come up with it again. Sean Devine. He's going crossfield and going back. Bramley move up very quickly. It's no wonder Bramley wanted to play it on their own pitch, isn't it? Bit of a mud bath out there, but solid tackling from Bramley, forcing Saints back towards their own line. A lot of pressure. Well, referee, the ball must have gone there, and the referee Tidball signifying another scrum. Is it Carroll to feed? Bramley come up with possession, but Saints penalised there. Is it offside he's given? Yes, offside he's given, obviously against Sean Devine at the scrum, so another penalty going Bramley's way. Bramley like to charge forward there. Paul Spedding, one of the props. But coming on, there's the other prop coming in, Steve Edmondson, as Bramley bring it across in front of the Saints posts. Trying to scamper through. Certainly looking for early points, and this is going to be a hard game for Bramley, but they reckon in the local press and what have you that they're quite confident. They go over for a try there. There's cheers from the Bramley team. But a knock-on, I think, must have been ruled. It's over at the far side from us, and the scrum down to be formed. Well, it's penalised Saints again there for feeding, so nothing off referee Tidball today. Bramley get another penalty, and what can you expect? He only comes from up the road at Wakefield. But no joy. Referee Tidball there. Saints penalised. It's Carroll with a quick tap. Bramley bringing it across the front of the Saints posts, looking to get an early score on the board. Been penalised 3 times in quick succession of the Saints. The game's only 4 minutes old, and it's been all Bramley down at that end, except from the initial kick-off when Saints broke through and got up to just over the halfway line. But it's Bramley again. The reverse pass. Ball's gone to ground. It's a Saints hand that comes up with it. Was immediately jumped on by the Wakefield, Wakefield. It's thinking about the referee, the Bramley tacklers. Neil Holding, acting half-back. The Saints trying to move upfield, Bramley closing them down. This is usually the norm in the games for the first 5 or 10 minutes. Bit of a softening up process, as they call it, just weighing each other up. But Bramley moving up very quickly. He managed to spot Saints moving up, but he's not been successful as far with Bramley just yet. The ball back to Loughlin. A lofted kick from Loughlin. He comes up there to full back Wayne Race, but he can't take it. Knocks it on just inside the Bramley half. So it's a chance now for Saints to put pressure on. Devine to feed. And Devine comes away with the ball. Saints come up with it. Move it quickly. Loughlin again. Out to Les Quirk, but he can't take it. Ball goes into touch, just in front of our commentary position. Saints faithful in front of us here, get behind the team. Another scrum now, receive Bramley, can come up with a clean heel. Well, one against the head there. Saints moving quickly to the right, Gary Connolly. Lofted ball, well taken on the far side by Beavers. Inside pass to Paul Loughlin, Saints keeping it going. Neil Holding into space. Inside ball. But Saints in the Bramley 25 now. First time we've been up this end. It's been all Bramley possession. Chris Arkwright looking to create the half gap. Bundle down there, four solid tacklers there from Bramley. Come in. Devine on to Evans. Block busting forward Evans. Got to make use of these heavy men in these awkward conditions. Neil Holding. Lofted ball. Well, is it lost? The ball's gone forward. Lofted ball onto the far side. Alan Hunt couldn't take it there. It was an awkward ball. It went down. It's going to be a Bramley feed. Let's hope Saints can take another one against the head. But Bramley come up this time with the heel from the scrum. Well, Bramley, the villagers as they're known. And we've had a lot of help from their club secretary, Mr. Barry Redison, for this afternoon's match. It was supposed to be, well, it was billed as an all-ticket match at first, then it said it wasn't. But very restricted parking positions and what have you, but thanks to Mr. Redison, we've had no problem. But it's Bramley in possession. Carroll kicks it down, it's going to go in on the full, is it? Yes, in on the full. Now whether that was on the 6th tackle or not, I don't know. No, it mustn't have been. The referee signified a scrum there with the Saints feed. Touch Sean Devine. Saints taking the scrums 3-1, but it's there, one against the head. Bramley come up with it this time. Breaking quickly to the right. Left centre, right centre, Lex Neal. Down with the ball, but it's Peter Lister at standoff, trying to scamper away from the acting half-back position. Well marshalled there, Phil Beavers and Shane Cooper. Loose forward Fraser. But Saints tackling will have to count. Carroll, inside ball, second row there, Steve Durham. Playing this right wing, Peter Lewis. Connolly comes up with possession, and he's off on a run, trying to thread his way through. Is Gary Connolly. Arkwright attacked in half-back. Saints moving it to the right. Quick hands. Paul Jones stretching those legs. Jones into a bit of space. Hunt's with him, but he feeds it inside. But it's a Bramley man that intercepts it. Hunt was on his right and Beavers was on his left. But the Bramley man comes up with it. The touch judge is on the far side. There's a Saints player down injured to the right. But what had happened in that tackle there? The referee Tidball. Shane Cooper it's Paul Jones that was down on the deck. But it's Phil Beavers that's been spoken to. Bramley have been awarded the penalty. Well, Bramley's only honours since the club was formed. I think it was in the early, I should have said the late 1800s, whether it was in the initial starting off. The only honour they have is winning the Floodlit Trophy in the 1973-74 season. They beat Widnes at Norton Park, 18th of December 1973, in any Bramley spectator's diary. That'll be the date to remember. They beat Widnes 15 points to 7 after beating Saints 13 points to 12 in the semi-final, which was played in the afternoon because of the power cuts. But it's Bramley still in possession. Carroll, centre field, turns it inside to Calvin Hopkins. Bramley moving upfield, midway between the Saints 25 and the halfway. Well, breaking away from the acting half-back position, and he was marked there. Farber had him, but Farber's penalised. So it's a chance for Bramley to get points on the board. Definite kicking position. Awkward there in the mire. It's Carroll, it'll be. Steve Carroll, entrusted with the goal-kicking duties. This is the fourth meeting between the Saints in the Challenge Cup since the war. Saints coming up winning all three previous ties. 69-70, they won at Nosey Road, 17 points to 2. Then at Nosey Road again in 73-74, they came through by 10 points to 5. And 74-75 here at Bramley, and Saints won 30 points to 5. It was Carroll, but it's going wayward, well wayward there. But Bramley looking for the first win, and I'm sure if Saints have anything to do with it, they won't get any joy this afternoon. In fact, the last time that Saints played Bramley was, as I said, 12 years ago, 77-78 season. Saints winning both league matches, 36 points to 11 here at McLaren Field, and 71-7 at Nosey Road. But solid tackling from the Saints. Sean Devine. But it's Lister, attacked in half-back, turns it inside to Steve Durham. They'll be battling for all the worth today, these Bramley lads. Certainly all fired up there. Joint Castleford coaches, ex-Castleford forward coaches here at Bramley, Barry Keir and Barry Johnson. They'll have them all fired up. But Bramley penalised this time. A little hesitation in the Saints ranks there, because we didn't know what referee Tidball was going to give. But the man didn't play the ball correctly, and Saints are awarded the penalty. Paul Loughlin with a lofted kick over there to the far side. Well, it's out to the ground. Terrific lengthy kick from Paul Loughlin. Saints to restart. 10 yards in on the 25-yard line, just waiting for another ball to come back onto the field. It's coming here from the players' dugout. It's Chris Arkwright standing in at temporary hooker position, with a suspension to Paul Groves. He's playing well, he's Arky. Saints moving across field. Shane Cooper, well tidied up there by his counterpart Fraser. Arkwright again. Well, the same thing just happened at the other end, and Farber got penalised. But Arkwright there, well clamped, pressurised by Steve Edmondson. Bramley, the hooker there, Gary Brentley, sits moving it left. Roy Haggerty comes in to complete the tackle, and very boggy out there. Most of the firm ground, if you can call it firm, must be on both the touch lines. And Bramley spreading it quickly, lofted ball. Lex Neal Wayne Race, I beg your pardon, it's Peter Lewis, who was going to come infield, but Neil is taken down into touch there, virtually on the halfway line, or just possibly inside the Saints half. Divine to feed. Well, the ball coming through the Bramley side, and referee Tidball's let it go. So 2 scrums there against the head for Bramley. Steve Carroll taking it left. Second row forward there, Calvin Hopkins, but Bramley looking to spread it. 14 minutes gone, no score. And Bramley moving it up now, approaching the Saints 25-yard area. 6th and final tackle now. See what tactics Bramley employ. Well, I think he was going for drop goal there, but Gary Conley takes it well, just gets out of his own in goal area. And certainly, in the immortal words of the late Eddie Waring, that was a flapper. But pressure there on the Saints, up at the far side, pegged on their own line. Bramley putting the pressure on. The scrum down to be formed. Bramley feed. Bramley come up with possession. Lister gives the dummy, tries to charge in front of the sticks. But it's Bramley throwing it out left again. Lofted ball, well taken on the far side there. Is he in at the corner? Number 5 it is, the left wing, Ronnie Sharp. He's not in, no try. Good tackling from the Saints on the far side. Must have gone touching goal, but Saints take a quick tap. Centre field, Haggerty there. But Bramley penalised for moving up in an offside position. The Saints wanted a quick play the ball. And not before time too, if I may be so bold. Paul Loughlin there locks it over. Didn't gain much forward yardage, but the ball did go into touch. Arkwright to restart. Stuart Evans block busting through. Paul Farber, but it goes to ground. It's touched the Bramley hands. But play allowed to go on because it did come back. Bramley in possession. From acting halfback. It's Bramley now bringing it to the right. Second row, Steve Durham. Bramley moving it quickly, creating a little bit of space, but as I said, this ball's got to be played to the wings. It's too boggy centre field, and it's 6th and final tackle now. Les Quirk gathers it safely. Bramley moving very quickly. Arkwright now attacking halfback, trying to scamper through, but the ball's wrenched from his hands. It must be a knock on, I would think. The Bramley man wrenched it forward. Should be a Saints feed, this. Yes, Sean Devine there just getting the ball in the pack, and it comes out. Devine, he's off, crossfield run, just taken down. Paul Jones, diagonal run, into space. It's definitely there for close, crisp passes. None of these lofted passes. Haggerty there breaks the tackle. Always looking to release, just couldn't get it away as extra Bramley personnel come in. Farber now, centre field, into space is Farber, he's moving over to the right. Gives it to Beavers, he couldn't take it. The ball's still loose. Scrum down to be formed, just inside the Bramley half, with a Bramley feed. As a Farber came through there, he moved it over to the right, but Beavers couldn't take it. Bramley come up with possession, taking the scrums 5-4, I make it. 18 minutes gone, no score. Typical rugged cup tie, and against second division opposition in the form of Bramley, it's always going to be hard. They're on their own mid-in. The game, as I said before, was going to be taken to Headingley Leeds, but they elected to play it here. Must have an advantage, and especially with the weather, and it's certainly... Well, interception there, let's work, is it? Offside, offside decision given. I thought Les Quirk had got possession, but it came back, and Bramley man being ruled offside. Just getting a little heads up there, we didn't know what was happening, but Paul Loughlin, lofted kick just over the stand on top of us, and he finds touch on the Bramley 25. So 6 tackles now for the Saints to get points on the board. The 2 balls gone out to the ground now, looking for a ball to restart play. There we go. Chris Arkwright there on the 25. Roy Haggerty, first man in, looking to turn it back inside. But it's Saints now. Bramley moving up very quickly. Referee Tidball moving up, and Bramley moved up with him. You can't blame them. They're going to get away with it. They're going to try it, aren't they? Arkwright, Divine, holding, forward, but the ball's to ground again. Well, has it touched the Bramley hands? The initial knock-on going to be ruled because of no advantage to Bramley. 10 yards inside the Bramley 25. Scrum down, and Steve Carroll, the Bramley scrum half to feed. Bramley come up with possession. Looks like the standoff, is it there, scampering through Lister? But once these jerseys get mucked up, we've no chance, have we? Steve Edmondson, the ball's down, holding, out to Loughlin, yes! Loughlin's in! First points on the board for the Saints. Quick hands there from the Saints as Edmondson came through. He lost possession. Neil Holding, sharp as attack. He picked it up. Fed it out to Paul Loughlin. He had Les Quirk on his outside, but no problem. International centre, 3/4. Paul Loughlin powered his way to the line. It's his first game back since the league game. Been out with a niggly groin injury, but he's in there and his pace showed, and Saints go in for the first try of the match. Paul Loughlin's 14th try of the season. Looking to add the extra points on. He's already kicked 96 goals so far this season. But as I said, he's just had the last 3 games out through injury. Sean Devine taking over the kicking duties. But composing himself there is Loughlin. Going to come to the left of the sticks, not very high, the posts here at Bramley. But that try going unconverted. So after 21 minutes of play in the first half, it's a Bramley 0, Saints 4. Here at Bramley in the first round of the Cup by way of a preliminary round staged at Knowsley Road, where Saints beat Castleford 39 points to 12. And as we've said before, this will be changed now. Both Castleford and Leeds out in the preliminary round of the Cup, and that's not right, is it? 2 of the top teams out there before the game has started, the competition has started properly. But Saints powering upfield there. Stuart Evans bursting through, tremendous break from Evans, but positional kick in there, putting pressure on Bramley as Alan Hunt is hurrying upfield looking for a mistake. He tackles the Bramley man and brings him to ground. He was looking to take him over his own line, but Bramley had to play it quickly. Saints pressurising them. All the Bramley team having it's a good way back there from that kick, wasn't it? It's a good 50 odd yards. But they're all on side now of Bramley. But even though we just had about 22 minutes gone, they look very dejected coming back there. Put a lot of pressure on the Saints in the opening 10 minutes or so. But Saints coming up with the goods, and Paul Loughlin scoring the only try so far. Play still in the Bramley 25 on the far side. Sixth and final tattle. Referee Tidball raises his arm. Bramley chipped through. Gary Connolly thought twice about that, picked it up at the second bite. As Peter Lister came in to clamp him, well, certainly looked a little high there from Steve Durham on Paul Loughlin. But referee Tidball, no action taken. Saints spread it to the right. Sean Devine, lofted ball to Alan Hunt. Should be on firm ground on the wings. Looks very boggy in the middle. Took a lot of snow last night. Shane Cooper lofts the ball back to Chris Arkwright. But it's Saints still in possession. Sean Devine, Shane Cooper, Paul Farber now. Saints spreading it, looking for support on the inside. Farber released it to Gary Connolly. It's coming over to the Les Quirk wing. But Quirk attacked in half-back. Neil Holding, Bramley moving up very quickly. Neil Holding lofts it. Well, Peter Lewis, he does well, but it goes back. He was facing his own line. Well, he's given a knock on, but surely he was facing his own line, was Peter Lewis, when he gathered that ball. And then full-back Wayne Race came up with it. But the referee's in the middle. He's made the decision. It's going to be a scrum with the Saints feed. And it must be another chance now for Saints to put further pressure on this Bramley outfit. Well, feeding given as the Bramley side collapses the scrum. Shane Cooper just going having a word with the referee. But no doubt he'll get no joy out of it. Feeding is ruled, but it looks as though Bramley have brought the scrum down then. But Saints now with 3 wins on the trot after a 4-match losing spell. Out this afternoon is Andy Bateman. He's got 3 cracked ribs. Be out for 4 to 6 weeks, just as he was coming to. Been playing well. He's been playing well ever since he was signed from Hunslet. But he had a nasty kidney injury that kept him out for a few weeks, and then he's just been on song ripping through the opposition defence, and he comes up with 3 cracked ribs at Salford. Very bitter day here at McLaren Field. Bramley in possession, moving it left. Carroll, he turns it back to the right. 10 yards short of the halfway line. Bramley still in possession, and referee Tidball urging the Saints to get back on side. On to Carroll now, positional kick in, but he finds touch there. Good positional kick midway between the Saints 25 and the halfway line. But Bramley, they must be hopeful of a win today. They've won 5 out of the last 6 matches. Well, Bramley come up with possession. Certainly come up with a lot of ball from the scrums. Peter Lewis goes through, loses possession. Awkward playing conditions, handling conditions. Loughlin on the far side, breaking out again. Onto Beavers, onto Alan Hunt. Brought down just short of the 25, but Saints, they look very confident when they move it, and they'll have to move it out to these wings. Looks like Jones coming towards the centre of the field. Bramley moving up very quickly. He's as well playing with us, this number 6, Peter Lister, isn't he? Sean Devine into space, looking for support. Brought down just short of the 25. Well, there was 3 there at the play of the ball, but he was let go. Farber into space. Oh, it's Loughlin on his outside. He's giving to Loughlin. Yes, out to Les Quirk. Brilliant rugby from the Saints. When all looked dead, Saints going in the corner here. Les Quirk. Paul Farber, he powered his way through there. Now whether he saw Loughlin on his left, I don't know, but he powered his way through. It seemed just a formality that he was going to give it to Paul Loughlin. He didn't. He nearly took the tackle, but it's a good play from the Saints. Farber, he passed it to Paul Loughlin as he was held upright. Loughlin, a quick hands onto Les Quirk, and Quirk went in at the corner. Extends the Saints lead to 8 points to 0. And Loughlin is certainly looking strong this afternoon, running really hard. Les Quirk, only his 4th try of the season. You have to remember he got injured in that first match at Sheffield and was out with injury for quite a considerable length of time. Bramley had a good win last week. Good build-up to today's match at Carlisle. They won 21 points to 18. Tries from Cooks, 2 from Sharp, Hopkins, and 2 Carroll goals and a drop goal. But Paul Loughlin, a tremendous kick from the touchline, extends the Saints' lead now to 10 points to 0. And a tremendous kick from Loughlin there, just getting his eye in with that first unconverted goal to his own try. So 28 minutes gone and Saints in a 10 points to 0 lead. So Bramley to kick off. Scrum half, Steve Carroll. Saints there showing the class. Quick breaks when it was needed, after a hell of a lot of Bramley pressure up at the other end. But that was the wingman there, Peter Lewis. He lost possession, holding, came up quickly. The Saints knock on the far side, just in their own 25, or on their own 25-yard line. Very awkward picking these lines out, quite a bit of snow on the wings, and the lines don't look very whitewashed. But Bramley coming crossfield. Quick break from the Saints again as they pick up the loose ball. Gary Connolly goes down. Certainly looked a little high, but it's Loughlin again, looking sharp. Sharp as attack. But he's bundled down here, just inside the Bramley half. Quirk, Cooper, along the line, Evans. Looking to release, he does. Oh, I thought he had done. Looks as though he was just going to release it. He takes the tackle. It's Cooper, that's acting halfback, taking it right. Devine holding. Devine into space as Jones was coming through on the dummy run. Well, the ball wrenched loose and Bramley hand comes up with it. Prop forward, Paul Spedding on the far side. Carroll along the line now. Looks like Calvin Hopkins, but it's Bramley still in possession, but centre field, not getting very far. Steve Durham hauled down very quickly there. Paul Farber there into the tackle, 6th and final for the Bramley outfit. On to Carroll, he's trying to kick it, but they spread it. It's going to be the changeover. The man's not dragged into, well, if he has the changeover as Neil, nearly forced into touch. Saints in possession. Very awkward picking the players out and from our position. But it's Paul Farber. Bramley moving in very quickly to the tackle. Devine, the ball back to Holding. Crossfield kick. Ronnie Sharp on the far side. Gathers it safely. Well, beats 2 tackles, flicks it up. For a forward pass being ruled. Unlucky there, Bramley trying to inject a bit of pressure, and Sharp did well. He went at the scrums, and Bramley moving up very quickly. The referee tid ball, but it's Evans powering his way through, releases it back. Cooper flicks it back. Well, the ball, he was facing his own line, but he's ruled a knock on, mind you. He did the same at the other end, didn't he? When Peter Lewis knocked it back, he was facing his own line. Probably your view maybe just obstructed by this stanchion as Bramley come up with possession. Taking the scrums 9-5, but they're pegged in their own half. Saints will have to come in and tackle them, give them no leeway. They nearly broke through the Saints defence there from Ronnie Sharp. But it's inside ball. It comes back. Full back, Wayne Race. But the ball was knocked back this time. Scrum half now. Steve Carroll. Attacking half back. Gives the dummy, tries to break through. It's Carroll into space, but Cooper has him. Well, the kick there, is it Peter Lister that lofts it up? Well, it's got to be a knock-on. The change overruled. As Bramley hands touched it on the sixth tattle. So a change overruled and Saints come up with possession. Pegged in their own 25. Moving it to the right, Roy Haggerty. Phil Beavers at dummy half and Saints bring it left. Breaking quickly. Pass round the man, Farber again. On the diagonal to Loughlin. Inside ball to Connolly. But a forward pass ruled. But good play from the Saints and Farber there. He's ripping holes in this Bramley defence. Paul Loughlin on the opposite diagonal. But the final pass to Gary Connolly going forward. 5 minutes remaining of this first half. Bramley to feed, and a finer example of feeding you won't wish to see. Obstruction again on the far side. Both of these misdemeanours going unnoticed by referee Tidball. For his second row there, Steve Durham. But Bramley still in possession, looking to register the first points. Saints in the lead by 10 points to 0. A run around movement there as Bramley bring it over to the right, to the Neil and Lewis wing. There's Neil attacking half back. Onto the left winger, Ronnie Sharp. Coming in field, looking for a bit of action. It's the sixth and final tattle now. Onto Neil, onto Lewis. Kicks through again. But the ball going in off Les Quirk. And a scrum down to be formed. Well, a good result last week for the Hull outfit, Brian Smith's outfit. They beat Wigan up at the Boulevard by 30 points to 20. So the old pie eaters beaten after a 14-match run. Let's hope they have the same. Let's hope they have the same luck today at Hull Kingston Rovers ground in the first round of the Challenge Cup. But it's Bramley come up with possession from the scrum. Into the 25, into the Saints 25 now. As I said, looking for the first points. 4 minutes to the half remaining. Saints in the lead, 10 points to 0. Peter Lister to dummy half. And Bramley bringing it to the right. Brought down centre field. Sixth and final tattle now. Lofted pass to Lewis, but he puts it down. But it's Saints in possession. Neil Holding quickly breaks, gives it to Chris Arkwright. Looking for support, turns in the tackle. But moving it quickly. Evans gives the dummy, shrugs the one tackle off. Shane Cooper there. Saints moving it to the left. Ball to Farber, but it goes down, touches the Bramley man and goes back to Saints. But a scrum down to be formed for the initial knock-on. Just inside the Saints 25. It's going to be Carroll to feed. Bramley push, Bramley get the possession. Lister gives the dummy, goes over to the left, with the ball going down. Another knock-on, very awkward handling conditions out there. As you can see, very muddy, and the players very heavily muddied. Centre field. Sean Devine. Saints come up with possession. Divine into space. £10 to 0 the score. Saints in the lead. 2 points and a half remaining. Haggerty. Good ball to Holding. Out to Loughlin. Gives the dummy. Comes in field. Still going is Paul Loughlin. Inside to Connolly. Still going. Cooper. Well, head tackle there on Cooper. And Cooper goes in. Little bit of a fracas there, but that was a terrible head tackle on Shane Cooper. The initial tackle. Now whether the touch judge will pick him out or not, I don't know. But Cooper there, unfortunately, showing his frustration as he was head tackled there by that a Bramley man. So the touch judge, whether he is reporting to the referee. But the Bramley man going in there having a word now. The prop forward, Paul Spedding. Whether he's waiting for the Bramley man to receive the treatment before he has a word with him. Peter Lister it is, I think, number 6. He's been receiving the treatment, but Shane Cooper there and Paul Spedding. Well, there you are. Spedding pats the referee's bottom, tells him he'll buy him a pint later in the bar, but Saints are still awarded the penalty. They're even arguing between themselves now. Lewis and Lister just having a few words. But it's a penalty to Saints, possibly the last chance to get points on the board. Well, I make it, we're actually playing in time added on, so that will be for that stoppage. But it's Paul Loughlin now. 35 yards, maybe just a little bit more out. 15 yards in from the main stand here at Bramley. Paul Loughlin just consulting with the referee Tidball. See whether these players are actually 10 yards in front. So toss up if they are. The hooker there, Brentley, and the second row forward, Durham. But it's Paul Loughlin, successful with one this afternoon. 97 so far this season. A chance now to extend Saints' lead to 12 points to 0. And there he goes. Just going to drop. Well, it did carry, but was off target. Bramley run it out. There's the half-time hooter. So it's half-time, as I said, 10 points to 0 in the Saints' favour. Tries from Loughlin and Quirk. The Quirk try converted by Loughlin. So it's half-time. Bramley 0, Saints 10. With you now at McLaren Field, Bramley, the second half of this Silk Cut Challenge Cup first round tie. Saints in the lead at half time, 10 points to 0. Most of the players there with clean attire certainly will help us a little bit. I mean, I even have problems in the dry, don't I? So you can't expect much today. But Bramley here, it makes you wonder how some of these lowly second division clubs survive, don't they, with average gates of just about 500 or what have you. Certainly a strong contingent from St Helens here this afternoon. And Bramley in Division 1. Do beg your pardon, I'll try again. Bramley in Division 2 in 13th position. The Saints in Division 1 in 5th position. But Cup Rugby is Cup Rugby and anything can happen. It's just on the day. But Saints have come up with the goods so far this afternoon. They're leading 10 points to 0. They're in possession. And Stuart Evans coming cross field. Sorry if you've used temporarily by this, temporarily obstructed I should say, by this floodlit stanchion. No, they'll have the floodlights on after. And I do hope the wick doesn't go out. And the lights are of sufficient quality. for our picture. But the first scrum of the second half. Carroll to feed. Bramley come up with it. The ball's still loose. Lots of handling errors, but Saints have possession, I do believe. Is it Shane Cooper? Yes, Saints captain and caretaker coach till Mike McClellan comes, Shane Cooper. But Beavers showing a tremendous turn of pace on the firm bit of land on the wings. No, Bramley penalised for impeding Beavers. He wanted a quick play of the ball. He didn't get it. Paul Loughlin finds touch in the Bramley 25. And it's Chris Arkwright to restart play. That's when we get a ball back. Neil Holding locks it over there. Chris Arkwright ready to restart. Well taken there. Quirky comes in field. 2 bites of the cherry, but it's Chris Arkwright as acting halfback. Says moving right. Stuart Evans battering his way towards the line. Oh, still going Evans. Tremendous blockbusting run. Held up on the line there virtually. He's not so far short, is he? Inside ball, Cooper. Haggerty trying to get up, but Bramley holding him down. Sean Devine attacks in halfback. Farber moving it to the left. Just flicks it up. Cooper takes it, yes. Cooper walks in. Another try for the Saints. Just over 2 minutes gone of the second half. And Shane Cooper waltzes in there. His 6th try of the season, and good play there, it must be said, from Paul Farber. He came through there, he was driving towards the line. He went down in the tackle, flicked it up to Cooper, and Cooper just had to take it. Touchdown. And Saints further in the lead now by 14 points to 0. Big cheers now as George Mann comes off. He's just been on as Sandman, substitute forward for this afternoon's game. Been out for a month or so, but Loughlin steps in, bangs it right between the sticks, and puts Saints on the way in this second half. 16 points to 0 the score now. Just 3 minutes gone of the second half. No substitutions made for either team as during the first half, or at the half-time interval. Loughlin stops it with his foot, gathers it safely, drives up to the 25. Oh, beg your pardon, Les Quirk it was. Wrong again. But it's Chris Arkwright at acting halfback. Paul Jones. Diagonal run Jones, looking for support. Beavers on his right, but he just couldn't release. But Bramley certainly moving up very quickly. Neil Holding now, trying to thread his way through. Gives it Farber. Farber is off on a run again. He's had a good game. Good ball there to Loughlin this time. Still going Loughlin. Brought down 10 yards outside his own 25 on the far side. Arkwright. Neil Holding. Inside ball to Jones. Did well there, Jones. 6th and final tackle now for the Saints. Cooper, Saints captain, ordering his men to the right. He brings the ball to the right. Neil Holding chips it through. Beavers and Hunt chase it. Well, Hunt, he caught it. Certainly didn't look offside from here, but he's penalised Alan Hunt for offside and for obviously arguing with his decision as Hunt bangs the ball down in disgust and incurs the referee's wrath. So referee Tidball awards Bramley the penalty. So it's Gary Brentley to restart. Onto this big prop, Paul Spedding. Arkwright and Beavers bring him down. Brentley again. The other prop forward, Edmondson, running hard into the Saints defence. But Farber and Jones there. Brentley again. Onto Carroll, but he lofts it up there as he's tackled, and Shane Cooper says thank you very much, but gets roughed up for his troubles. Peter Lister just roughing him up a bit. Evans there, steaming through. Releases it to Sean Devine. Roy Haggerty just taking a knock in the 25-yard area. But it's Saints still in possession. Coming and spreading it along the line. Holding, gives the dummy, turns back inside. Cooper comes up with possession. Good play from the Saints, throwing it about a bit. Les Quirk taking a knock, centre field, he's come in. And Farber now brought down. So Saints there with two injured players. Looks as though they're both back in contention now, Quirk and Haggerty. Arkwright, Evans, good ball to Jones. Well, the ball going forward. Jones brought down, he flicked it up. The ball going forward. The referee Tidball right on the job. So scrum down with a Bramley feed. Steve Carroll. Bramley come up with possession. Full back Wayne Race coming in and making the extra man. Not been able to get through there. Paul Fraser there brought to the ground. And it's Carroll, turns it infield. Bramley on the charge. Well, Saints penalised for offside. They're certainly only watching one side, isn't he? There's no danger about that. But Gary Brentley. Well, I thought he was going to play it. But he kicked it into touch. Now what the idea of that was, I don't know, because he's only in the same position. But it's Gary Brentley to restart. Prop forward there, Spedding. Was Brentley at dummy half. Edmondson. But Haggerty and Paul Jones bring him to a halt. Bramley 10 yards from the Saints line. Hooker there, scampering through from acting half-back. Gary Brentley. Carroll and tacked in half-back. The ball released. Tidied up by Hopkins. Brought down just short. Well, he slid over. Surely it's a double movement, that. The man was down. The ball was on the ground. And he's let him go over. Well, I don't know. Surely not a try there, but Hopkins is credited with it. Bramley get the points on the board. But good work initially there from Gary Brentley. He scampered through, and then the ball coming to Hopkins. And he was grounded short, and he kept wriggling over, and he looked as though he'd actually got up and then touched down again. Certainly a hint of a double movement. It was allowed to stand, and now it's Steve Carroll trying to tag on the extra points. Carroll there converts it. Puts Bramley on the board. They're still trailing by 16 points to 6. We've had 10 minutes of the second half gone, and referee Tidball certainly won't be on the St Helens spectators' Christmas card list for next year. It's Paul Loughlin to kick off from the centre spot. There's Paul Loughlin to kick off, centre spot now. Bramley just scoring, the first points on the board, 16 points to 6. They gather safely in their own 25. Moving it to the right, but solid tackling there, Paul Jones and Shane Cooper. And Roy Haggerty in at the thick of it. Gary Brentley attacked in half-back, and the ball is kicked upfield. Well taken. excuse me, well taken by Les Quirk as Bramley move up very quickly. Quirk is pushed as he wants to get up to play the ball. The referee Tidball, I don't think he had any option but to come in and penalise Bramley there. He certainly didn't do it straight away. Chris Arkwright to restart play. Les Quirk coming in. Well, the ball being wrenched from his hands and Bramley break away very quickly. Solid tackling, plenty of it there, centre field. But certainly breaking very quickly, Bramley. The hooker there, Brentley, trying to get through. Second row and try score a Hopkins. But Palmer brings him to ground. Very muddy conditions, awkward. But both teams throwing it about a bit this second half. Carroll takes up the acting half-back position. Neil chips it through for the winger. And the ball's still loose. Well, a try given in the corner. Certainly didn't look as though he was over from here. Looks as though he definitely grounded it short. But Bramley come up with 2 tries in quick succession. Whether it was Neil that scored then, I just don't know. Yes, it was Neil that's been accredited with the try. But that kick through there for the wingman, Peter Lewis. I think Neil had initially missed it, then it came back and Lewis missed it, but it looks as though he grounded it short. I don't know whether you get a better position on the when you watch it again on the video. But Neil going in for a try brings Bramley back up to 16 points to 10. It's Carroll with the conversion. Doesn't look so bad, that does it, as it comes in? Yes. Good kick there. $16 points to 12 the score now. Everything to play for. We need another ball on the ground, as every time they're kicked up at this end, they're over the sticks or they're out of the ground or whatever. But Bramley coming back, 2 tries there in 3 minutes. Certainly a little bit of doubt about both of those tries. They're up to double movement for the first in, and he looked grounded short for that second one. But it's Bramley, they're back in the hunt now. Tails up, 16 points to 12. Just 4 points separating the teams. And Bramley obviously looking to inflict a defeat on the Saints as Bramley make a substitution with number 15. Yes, 15 coming on to replace number 10. So that's Gascoigne for Edmondson, and just 14 minutes gone of the second half. Bramley come up with possession, but quickly knock on. So another scrum down to be formed. Possible chance for Saints to win the first heel from the scrum, which they do so in this second half. But he doesn't like it. Saints have to do it again, but they still come up. Action replay. Saints, is it Neil Holding scampering through? But the ball's loose and Bramley on the charge again. But Loughlin comes in, a tremendous tackle. Forces his man back further 5 yards. Brentley from acting half-back trying to scamper away, but Chris Arkwright and Paul Jones bring him down. Bramley now, they've been injected after those 12 points. Certainly look to have been inspired, but Saints come up with the ball. Vivers has it. He looks at referee Tidball. Well, He didn't do anything, he was letting it go. Now what's made him change his mind, I don't know, but Beaver's come up with possession. But it's our feed, it's Saints' feed. Divine comes up with possession. Saints move it quickly to the left. Beavers now takes the tackle. Neil Holding getting things underway. Cooper. But the ball going down again, and a lot of handling mistakes this afternoon. You can't expect much else on a playing area of this condition, can you? Carroll to feed. Bramley come up with it. But he doesn't like it, it's got to be reformed again. Bramley still come up with possession. Solid tackling from the Saints on the far side. Temper's getting a little frayed. Referee moves in. So what decision will be ruled? You can guarantee it'll be a free kick, a penalty to Bramley. So Bramley awarded the penalty for whatever had happened there at the back of the scrum, just out of our view. But Bramley fine touch just inside the Saints half. Trailing by 16 points to 12, but coming back in that inspired 3 minutes, and we're now 17 minutes through the second half. Both teams looking forward to being in the bag for tomorrow evening's draw. 10 to 7 on BBC Look Northwest. Well, that's in our area anyway, isn't it? But Bramley moving it quickly to the right. Certainly looked a hint of a forward pass, but Paul Loughlin did well, he clamped his man. Carroll and Lister, these half-back duo trying to get things underway, but Jones and Evans clamp them there. Brentley moving away from acting half-back, scampering through. As Bramley move up, it's the sixth tackle, just outside the Saints 25. Pressure here for Gary Connolly, takes it well in his in-goal area. Well, offside decision. So effectively that's penalised the Saints, because with Connolly taking it in his in-goal area. Oh, I beg your pardon. He's penalised the Saints. Now whatever reason that was for, I don't know, but Shane Cooper's having a word with him. I thought he'd penalised Bramley, but he's penalised the Saints for whatever reason. I was following the ball. Connolly took it well in his in-goal area, but the penalty's been awarded to Bramley right in front of the sticks, and this will bring Bramley back. Well, Cooper, he's still arguing with referee Tidball, and certainly this man in the middle, the man in black, leaves a lot to be desired, doesn't he, for this afternoon's performance. But it's Steve Carroll, scrum half, hoping to bring Bramley back within 2 points, and he shouldn't have any problem, should he, there, from right in front of the sticks. Just composing himself. Carroll there, strikes it well. So 19 minutes of the second half gone. That Carroll penalty goal makes the score now Bramley 14, St Helens 16. We'll just have to go through this video again and just pick out all these referees' mistakes, because I don't know what that was for there. I don't think anybody over here knew that was what that was for. Paul Loughlin kicks it deep. Just into the last quarter now, 20 minutes gone of the second half. The ball back for the kick upfield from Carroll. Les Quirk takes it well on the run. Superb take from Les Quirk. Neil Holding stepping up at the acting half-back position. your view temporarily obstructed by this stanchion. I'm sorry about that. Well, the floodlights are on here, I hadn't noticed. But you haven't seen much difference either, have you? Well, Bramley penalised for moving up offside. Saints faithful cheer there. But a knock-on going to be ruled. Gary Connolly goes in and wrenches the ball off the Castleford man. The Castleford man getting carried away off the Bramley man. But a scrum down, Saints feed for the initial knock-on. Saints come up with possession. Neil Holding looking for half a gap, but he'll have a lot of problems in the centre of the field. Very boggy conditions. Chris Arkwright. Shane Cooper along the line now. Roy Haggerty has to take the tackle. Bramley sticking to the task. Saints scoring in the second minute of the second half by Cooper. And then it's been all Bramley after that. 2 tries and 3 goals. Bring them back within 2 points of the Saints. Neil Holding. Cooper, short ball there. Stuart Evans powering his way down. Tremendous break from this Rugby Union forward. Shane Cooper, lofted ball there, taken by Neil Holding. Chips for the line. It's ball's loose. It's the wingman there, Peter Lewis. As Neil Holding follows him up and brings him down. But Saints will have to contain Bramley at that end of the field for the remainder of these 6 tackles and just hope that they can regain possession. Well, there's 3. Shane Cooper rings the man down. You can bet the ball will be going to Carroll now for a kick-up field. That's 4 tackles. Bramley still in possession. Haggerty the tackler there. There it goes back to Carroll, is it? For the kick-up field. Alan Hunt takes it well. A very limited touch this afternoon for Alan Hunt. But he has to take the tackle right on the halfway line, virtually on the centre spot. Saints moving it left. Saints forwards again battling through there, but the Saints forwards battling the way through there, but there's an injured party. The Bramley player down there injured. Saints penalised again. As Carroll finds touch just short of the Saints 25. St Helens trying to make a substitution now. George Mann on the touchline, ready to come on. He's going to be replacing Chris Arkwright. But it's Bramley still in possession in the Saints 25 now, just trailing by 2 points. 16 points to 14 to score. Quarter of an hour of the game remaining, but solid tackling from the Saints there. They take the man back there a full 10 yards. Stuart Evans quickly in, he's in again, Evans. He's got the bit between his teeth, Evans and Cooper. But it's Bramley pressing through, they chip through. The chase is on, Connolly takes it well. He wraps himself up, Connolly, but the loose forward there, Fraser and Barnett come in. But it's Alan Hunt. Barnett again in at the tackle. Bramley urged onside, or to get onside by referee Tidball. Chris Arkwright has to take the tackle. Now it's Bramley that want to contain the Saints on their own line. Cooper, Haggerty. No doubt the instruction will be stick hold of the ball as Bramley move in very quickly. Close the Saints down. Neil Holding, Paul Farber. Centre field across the face of the post, 6th and final tackle. So Bramley have stuck to the task. The ball now to Loughlin for the relieving kick. Over to Peter Lewis wing, stops it with his foot, gathers it safely. Tries to round Les Quirk, but well tackled. George Mann still on the touchline, looking to come on, to get into action. This powerful New Zealand forward, but Saints there, forces Bramley back. Well, it's tackling is the name of the game. You've got to get them onto the ground. Whether the referee has shouted held or not, I don't know, but obviously he's saying I've shouted held. But it is a body contact sport. Shane Cooper's going over against a referee Tidball, obviously incensed by this man's performance this afternoon. A despicable performance. But the substitution being allowed to be made now. George Mann comes on, replacing Chris Arkwright. So who will have a hooker now? I don't know whether George Mann will go straight into the hooking role. But a despicable display of officialdom, if that's what you can call it, from referee Tidball this afternoon. They're on about bringing video evidence for some of these players, for the tackles and this, that and the other. They certainly should have video evidence for this fella. And referee Sessions Fred Lindhoff, he does go and have a look at these matches, and referees are up for reprimand just as much as the players. But a despicable performance. And it's Carroll there. Can he get it between the sticks? No. It goes to the right, but Saints still have to drop out from the 25. It'll put Bramley back in possession. But George Mann's on the field, his powerful second or front row forward. And Paul Loughlin now. Well, Bramley going to make another substitution, bringing on number 14, Kane, to replace number 4, Barnett. Saints kick off. Bramley in possession, running crossfield, but solid Saints tackling, and they'll have to get into it now. The Saints will have to show their character, just leading by 2 points, 16 points to 14, and 12 minutes of the game to go. And a knock-on being ruled. If he's not careful, this referee Tidball, is certainly a chance of the game really getting out of hand. As far as Saints spectators are concerned, it's out of hand already. But Saints go up with possession and move it to the left. They've got to get up there and into the Bramley 25 to relieve the pressure. Stuart Evans, centre field. 10 yards inside the Bramley half. George Mann at dummy half. Flicks it up to Paul Farber. George Mann again, taking up the usual hooker's position at dummy half, and Saints ready to cross the line. Roy Haggerty gives the dummy. Here he takes a head tackle, but flicks it back inside. Paul Loughlin on a run. Still going Loughlin. Powering for the line. Flicks it up there to Sean Devine. Can Devine go to the corner? Let's Quirk. Yes, Quirk's into the corner. The referee says yes. And the Saints faithful over here say hallelujah. Good play there, and that man Loughlin involved in that display again. He powered his way over there to the left. He flicked it up to Sean Devine, passed it on to Les Quirk, and Quirk goes in at the corner. His second try of the afternoon. Eases the Saints score a little, makes it now 20 points to 14. That elusive 6-point gap. And let's just hope Paul Loughlin can slot it over from the far side. So 4 tries and 2 goals from the Saints so far, 20 points. And a chance for Paul Loughlin now, and if he's not picked as Silk Cup man of the match for this afternoon's performance, I'll be very disappointed. But Loughlin comes in there, lofts it well. Yes, right between the sticks. The touch judges raise the flags. And let's hope that's put the nail in the Bramley coffin. 22 points to 14 to score. And I bet there was a few having palpitations down here with just 2 points in the score. So Bramley making another substitution with Fraser coming off. And Edmondson coming back on. Nine minutes of the game remaining. Saints pegged on their own line. And things just getting a little out of hand here in front of us in the terraces. But it's Saints in possession. Right in front of their own post, 10 yards from the line. But George Mann onto Roy Haggerty. Saints just extending the lead now to 8 points by virtue of that quirk try converted by Loughlin. It's the sixth and final tackle now for the Saints. Shane Cooper spreads it along the line. Saints will have to spread it. They're running it. Farber, inside ball there to Loughlin. Looking to releases, he keeps it going. Saints will have to keep it going. Cooper kicks it through. But the Bramley man takes it well. Solid tackling there from George Mann. Tremendous chest tackle. Bangs his man down. Edmondson, I think it is, taking up the running. Bramley in possession. In the Saints 25. It's the hooker there, Brentley trying to scamper his way through. Spreading now. Bramley move it left. Brentley again. On to Neil. Connolly takes it well. But Bramley move in very quickly and close him down. But Connolly's taking a knock in that tackle. Looks to have injured his shoulder. Neil comes in and hampers Connolly a little bit there. Referee Tidball doesn't pay any attention yet once again. Stuart Evans. George Mann at the acting half-back position. Conditions very dark out there, and certainly these floodlights doing nothing to enhance the ground. George Mann onto Loughlin. Being forced over, trying to force him to touch on the far side. Sixth and final tackle, but Saints have got out to the 25. Cooper kicks it forward. Bramley have to come in quickly, but they take the tackle. Saints move in very quickly, and Saints tackling will have to hold firm. Substitute back there, John Kane. Fresh man, but brought down centre field just short of the 25. Playing it quickly. Bramley still in possession. 6 minutes of the game remaining. Saints leading 22 points to 14. Surely this will ensure them with a place in the bag for the draw for tomorrow's second round tie. Well, Bramley keep it moving. Chip forward, but knock on there. Unfortunately, Neil Holding knocks it forward from that kick through. I think it was Hopkins that kicked it through. Well, Paul Loughlin just being named as the man of the match, and rightly so. I'd have been bitterly disappointed if Loughlin hadn't come up with that award. Bramley in possession just outside the Saints 25. Edmondson trying to power his way through. Saints will have to hold them out here. They have got an 8-point cushion, but there's 5 minutes remaining, and it was in a 3-minute period in the beginning of the second half where Bramley came up with 12 points, so we can't afford to let this occur again. Bramley now 15 yards short of the Saints line. The ball knocked down. Haggerty in possession. I didn't know whether it looked as though a Saints hand had knocked it down there, and Haggerty kicked it on, but he came up with possession, and Bramley penalised. I think that's only the second time in the match he's penalised him for offside. just as Saints were going to move it left. But it's Paul Loughlin, silk cut man of the match for this afternoon's tie, finds touch just inside the halfway, just inside the Bramley half, I should say. Time running out for Bramley, the villagers. Well, just giving out on the PA system there. The old pie eaters just scraping through by 6 points to 4 up at Craven Park, Hull KR's ground, but it's Saints in possession. Moving up to the Bramley 25. Surely the game beyond Bramley now, with Saints leading by 22 points to 14. Just about 4 minutes remaining. Paul Jones in possession, approaching the Bramley 25-yard line. Holding a dummy half, trying to scamper through. Has to take the tackle. We're certainly getting very dark out there. It doesn't show so bad on the TV screen, but it's very hard picking players out there on the far side. The ball's loose and Bramley come up with it. It's Kane, John Kane, substitute back. Puts Bramley in with a sniff of possibly getting another score if they spread it quickly. The ball going to ground again, but it's knocked back. Saints tackling, they'll have to hold firm, centre field. They certainly know they've been in a game this afternoon. Difficult playing conditions, very boggy. A lot of handling errors, a hell of a lot of handling errors. But Kane, the fresh man for Bramley, in possession. Bramley spread it along the line, looking for quick hands. The initial break, which touched to Saints' arm there. Now whether 6 tackles will be waved again, I don't know. No, the referee hasn't signified anything, but that doesn't surprise you, does it? Well, Farber forced there. The man walking right into Farber there. He hadn't made an attempt to catch the ball whatsoever. But Saints take a quick tap, and Neil Holding moves it upfield. George Mann at dummy half, takes it left. George Mann again. 2 minutes remaining of this first round cup tie. Helens. Saints now spreading it to the right. Neil Holding, short pass to Haggerty. Beats one, releases it to Phil Beavers. Out to Alan Hunt now, into a bit of space. Look, oh, Hunt! Yes, he outpaces the defence. Sorry if your view's blocked. A lot of people standing up here in our position. As I said, we're in with the crowd here in the main stand at Bramley. As people stand up there to obviously get a better view. And unfortunately it's blocking your viewing position. But Alan Hunt, he couldn't get in there. The ball was lost. Bramley on the far side in possession and forced into touch. So we're in the dying minutes now. Probably be the last scrum of this afternoon's game. It is bitterly cold here and the teeth are starting to chatter, but we're nearly at the end. As Divine feeds, he comes up with possession. He's held there. It's touched a Bramley man, and the play will be allowed to go on. Jones going crossfield. Shane Cooper thought he was going to take up the acting halfback, but George Mann does. George Mann on a bullocking run. Brought down centre field as Bramley are urged to get back on side. Stuart Evans powering his way through. And Saints now, can they put another try and a goal on the board in the dying seconds? Lofted ball, Roy Haggerty shakes as if he was going to drop it, but Haggerty there powers his way through. 15 yards from the Bramley line. Saints move it left. Lofted ball, Loughlin. Beavers inside to Loughlin again. He lofts it inside to Farber. Farber going for the line. Yes, backing up. Cooper again. Saints keep it moving. Stuart Evans turns it inside. Gary Connolly. The Saints putting a tremendous amount of pressure on this Bramley line, and we're out down at the right end of the field anyway. We're in time added on for stoppages as Neil Holding grubbers it through. But try scorer, one of the try scorers, Calvin Hopkins, gathers it safely. Bramley are in possession, but they're down on their own line, and no doubt Saints will put a lot of pressure on them for these last few tackles. Well, as I said before about the floodlights, somebody just shouting there, put the floodlights on. I say it doesn't make any difference whether they're on or not. Sharp, Ronnie Sharp took a knock in the tattle, very slow getting to his feet. As Bramley now still in possession, trying to grubber it through. Hack it on again, but it touches Gary Conley, comes back to Bramley hands. So 6 tackles waved off again, should I say a restart of a further 6 tackles. But it's Bramley taken down by George Mann. There's the final hooter. So today's game ends in a victory for the Saints by 22 points to 14. It was 10 points to 0 at half time. And then in the second half, Saints came out, they scored an early try through Shane Cooper, converted by Paul Loughlin. 16 points to 0 for the Saints. Then, in the space of 3 minutes, 2 tries by Hopkins and Neal, both converted by Carroll for Bramley, and put Bramley back in the hunt at 16 points to 12. Both of these tries being very controversial. And then, in the 19th minute, a Carroll penalty goal right under the sticks, another controversial decision from referee Tidball. But Saints played well, they played to the end, and Paul Loughlin, man of the match, he kept going, and in the 29th minute Les Quirk was put in for a try. Paul Loughlin converted it. So the final score here at McLaren Field, a very dim McLaren Field, is Saints 22, Bramley 14. Thanks once again for joining us, and let's hope we get a bit better conditions for the next round. We'll be in the bag for tomorrow's draw for the second round. Thanks once again for joining us. See you soon.